Live. How's it going, everybody? Yoshi the Oreo here with another 2 mile walk live stream. Woo! Get your walk on. Get your walk on. How's everybody going? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I don't know what it is with a lot of people today. You know, a couple of days ago, we had 90-degree weather. My grandma, and every person that watches MSNBC and all these fucking mainstream media newses, they spreading the news and the message talking about something. They say stay inside if you ain't got nowhere to go because it's really hot out here, people. It's really hot. I mean, yeah, it's not the first time, 90 degrees ran in this entire city, but, somehow they're treating it like this is the first time 90 degrees has ever, entered this entire space. Don't know why. The hottest I've ever been in a house was like 120 degrees. Yeah, that's what happens when your fucking AC doesn't work and, the people that own the fucking house don't want to fucking repair the damn thing. But hey, I digress. Back then, in the 90s and early 2000s, they would say stay hydrated. Now they're just saying stay inside. Which, by the way, if you're not aware of it, especially the area that I live in, a lot of people don't have working AC. So, telling people whose AC ain't working and all they got is like box fans, ceiling fans, staying inside your house is more of a death threat than it is advice, if you really think about it. But I digress. But it kind of had me thinking about those that just say shit and they don't really think about it in terms of what has been said in terms of history as opposed to in the moment. Such as people like Asman or the Roach King, which I will refer to him in this entire stream as said Roach King, since he wants to be a roach. We're gonna treat him like a roach. The whole Stellar Blade Blood Rain kerfuffle kind of shows the issue with the internet as a whole, as opposed to in part, where people create parasocial, connections and emotions with that one YouTuber. And I hope you guys aren't doing that with me because I ain't your daddy. And definitely ain't gonna be your daddy. So you might as well go ahead and get that out of your fucking head if you're thinking that. But, they come up with these parasocial relations with these people and they act like under no circumstances they could ever say something wrong, even if it is proven contradictory throughout their history. Especially considering the fact, Asmongold, if I'm pretty sure a lot of people remember 2 years ago, defended the game Stellar Blade, the first game. By the way, I played it. I played it 8 times. I didn't just play it once and shelve that motherfucker. I played it 8 times, New Game Plus, collected every goddamn fucking outfit in the damn thing, including all the memory sticks. Looked at every single character in that damn thing. I'm still kind of wondering why they just copied and pasted that one Guardian in front of those lab stations. I'm like, they're all the same. I'm like, why the hell you do that? Like, whatever. And they're all named differently too. I'm like, okay, that's kind of lazy. They look good though, but I'm like, man, that's kind of lazy. But I digress. So I played the game 8 times. I know what's in it. I know what characters are in it. So let's take, for instance, their little take on the second game, saying that, Evie from Blood Rain, not to be mistaken with the other Blood Rain, we're talking about Stellar Blade, she looking like a child. That's the whole criticism. She looking like a child, and because she looking like a child, and you are sexually attracted to a woman who looking like a child, therefore It is some type of psychosis of living out like some type of pedophilic fantasy or some shit. Let's say that is the case. Asmund. What? Actually, no, that's not your real name. We're going to call you Roach King. Roach King. Let's say that is the case. What does that say about you, considering the fact you defended the first game? Who unilaterally has 3, if not 4 characters of that same design that you're saying is a child. Kaya, who runs the sister's junk shop, looks like a child, but she's a grown-ass adult. You know, she ended up losing her sister and everything, and, you know, Eve's out there looking for the sister, finds out she's dead. She retrieves the memory stick and gives it back to her to where she can have closure. And she can move on and continue being a shopkeep. You know? And then there's Lily, which is the first character everyone should honestly have been thinking about when they see Evie. It's like, wow, that looks dead ass like Lily. Like, instead of looking like a child, they should be like saying, wow, she looking like Lily. Because, holy shit, she kind of does look like Lily. Just, the freckles are kind of removed a little bit. Because Lily, like, she had a lot of freckles on her face. But she was an adult. She was the engineer and the repair tech of Eve to upgrade her and repair her after, you know, each mission. You know, she's the one that crafted the whole android to be like a shooting range gun, upgraded her skeleton to be able to take on even more upgrades so you can customize Eve for more abilities and stuff like that. And then there's Mother Sphere, good old Mother Sphere, who also look like a child. No one says shit about that. Three characters that fall into this looking like a child bullshit, and yet not a single one of you says shit. Because why? Let's be honest, you didn't give a fuck. You just said, okay, which side do I need to take in order for me to get the most views? That was pretty much the ultimate deciding factor of why Roach King even said that to begin with, because I don't take no one seriously when they do goofy shit like that, where they say something that is so contradictory 2 years ago as opposed to what the fuck they're saying today, to the point to where they're quite honestly projecting themselves as the very thing that they're calling other people. Just saying. I don't trust people like that. If I can make a video of you arguing against yourself with your own fucking videos, I don't trust you. I really don't. And I see why there's so many people that were so afraid to criticize the Roach King. You know, in terms of the culture war, I get it, you know. Y'all friends and family, we really can't be fighting nobody in the camp in any way, shape, or form. Because, you know, as soon as we start turning on each other, the enemy wins. Is that the case? Is that the case where you're so enthralled by the culture war to the point to where your own can say the most retarded shit and you won't check them? Because you're afraid of what the other side will do? That's the kind of life y'all want to live? Being afraid of what the other side may think and say and do based on what the hell you're going to do to one of your fucking mouthpieces? It's kind of like what David Wood said, you know, about all these little milquetoast Christians, that when they see sin and evil in their churches or in their groups, their first response is to be like, well, we'll just turn a blind eye to it, guys. We'll turn a blind eye, because if we rat them out, you know, it's gonna make us look bad, irregardless of us doing the right thing. So the best thing to do is to just look the other way. Go along, get along. No. And then y'all wonder why gaming got so bad to begin with. And then you wonder how society is dilapidating. That's how it dilapidates. That's how it breaks down. A lot of people just want to go along, get along. I'm on team A, you on team B. You can say something that sounds right, but at the same time, I can't take it. Why? Because you're the enemy. That's how most people in this society think nowadays. To the point where Asmongold can quite literally contradict himself. And that's how you can tell. And I don't think he's that damn stupid. Let me make that point abundantly clear. Let me make this point abundantly clear. I don't think he's stupid. He knows what the fuck he's saying. And he knows that there are people that will not under no circumstances call him out because he greases their fucking wheels. And he's seen as a mouthpiece against the culture war of the woke. He sees that. He knows that. And a lot of content creators do that, and they know that. Which is why I stopped trusting Mike, because I don't trust a person that is so threatened by a community of people that's thinking outside the box versus how he thinks. To the point the only people he removed was like 20 people. That says a lot about him. And it says a lot about Asma, the Roach King. Is that they want to be in an echo chamber where they are uncontested in every way, shape, and form. Because God forbid that there's someone in there that has the evidence to make them look stupid. They're going to do exactly what the hell Asman just did when he was talking to Emerald Apple. Nitpick the study, nitpick the evidence, and say that it has no correlation with what the hell you're actually saying, but it does have a correlation with what the hell you actually been saying this entire damn time. Oh my God! There's a kitty! Hey, buddy! I just want to left you some food out here. Hey! Doing okay? Hey, buddy. Okay? Oh, you're just a little baby. Where's your mama? Oh, you are just bones. That's all I'm feeling right here. He's got food. Someone gave him food. Oh, man. You got any water? Yeah, he got water too. Oh, man. Oh. Little baby. That hurts me. I'm not really a cat person, but like, I got an affinity for like strays. Oh, I know. Oh man, you got like an eye affection too. No, his eyes just squint. He's just squinting his eye. That's all. Oh, baby. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Oh man. That hurts my when I see things like that. I'm gonna go, buddy. Okay, go back over here. Come on. Come over here. There you go. There you go. Eat your food. Eat your food. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You stay. Stay. Okay. I'd take the cat in, but like, I got a bird. Oh man. Man, that hurts me when I see cats like that, man. And it looks healthy too. Yeah, but there's always a lot of strays. We always got a lot of strays out here. In terms of dogs and cats. But I forgot what the hell I was saying. Oh yeah, about the Roach King's opinion on why it drifted and changed like that. There could be a number of reasons, you know. It could be a number of reasons. Like, it could just be he's just saying it knowing that, you know, he doesn't really have to like believe it. Because the people that follow him, you know, a lot of people, they look at the whole culture war thing as, so long as I have the big YouTuber that has like millions of followers, says the thing that I want him to say, you know, I can't really go against him. Because by going against him means I go against the culture. Which Mike says, you know, that's kind of stupid, which I could agree. But I think he doesn't understand the power of what culture has on the entire society. Because culture is power. And that is what we're honestly dealing with here. You know, instead of academic or institutional power, we're dealing with cultural power. Where the person that has X amount of followers is the people that people want to listen to. Which I think that's why Mike really doesn't understand it. Because he kind of comes from a very closeted position of just being an FGC kind of guy. Okay, I get that. But that just kind of goes to show the ignorance of like what you're kind of dealing with here. When people see culture as power. They see it as an alternative form of the academic who has spent 40 to 50 years studying a particular field, gathering the data, creating the tables, looking at the statistics and coming to a sound conclusion based on what he actually looks at. You know, it's the alternative to doing that, which is just basically putting a camera in your face and just spitballing and hoping you never get contested in any way, shape, or form. And if you do, you just nitpick the evidence that's being presented in front of you and just call it a damn day. Which, don't get me wrong, I said in my other short, like, I'm not taking away what Emerald Apple has done in terms of, you know, promoting the movement and coming up with the defense points and everything for like anime and freedom of expression. I'm not taking that away from them. But I went on to his Twitter, and to be honest, I'm not really surprised. I mean, with the whole culture war thing happening and everything, it's a given. People started thinking like this. Now, they can be smart in some areas, but they can be really kind of retarded in others. Where he shows his dark side that he doesn't want other people to know about. Where he talks about how the concept of it's not all black people being violent is a retarded position. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I understand that premise. I don't respect it. Clearly because, well, I'm not saying I'm the exception. I'm the proof, motherfucker. And the proof here is when you think it's a lot easier to deal with people that look like us than it is to deal with the mainstream media that has been constantly lying day in and day out, funded by people that look like you as well. Keep in mind, FYI, we can play this look like game as much as we want. You can say they look like me and therefore I'm violent, and I can say the people that funded all that crap to begin with look like you, and you're responsible for it just as well. But it's not going to solve anything. Am I saying definitively that he's racist? I mean, it's in his post. He clearly says the exception ain't worth it. Okay, that's fine, that's great, and that's dandy. See, my problem is goofy ass motherfuckers like that think they can play this little song and dance where when they're surrounded by their people that think and talk like them, then it's all black people. All black people are the problem, right? But when they're in the public, when they know for a fact they can't say some goofy ass shit like that, they can tell the difference all of a sudden. Like walking in the rain. Honestly, yeah. I actually do like that. I mean, it keeps you cool. It depends on what type of rain we're talking about. If we're talking about like heavy ass rain, like hell no. But if it's like a light sprinkle, like a light mist, yeah, I like walking in the rain. It ain't bad. Subscribe to your channel and like all those. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. I can barely see out messages, like the sunlight kind of like makes it a lot harder for me to see the screen until I go into an area where it's like not beaming on the screen so much to the point where I can't see anything. So when I see your messages, if I don't see your messages, I'm sorry, but I do kind of go back once the video like re-uploads after 24 hours, and then I go back and see like what people left. With that first live stream I did when I came back from my break, I'm sorry, I get the most crazy motherfuckers coming in my fucking stream. I either get Marxists, socialists, communists, or national socialists coming into my fucking stream saying the most goofy ass fucking shit and expect me to join them. I never really understood that. Well, I do, because, you know, it kind of goes back to the whole Emerald Apple kind of thing. It's like, okay, if he honestly believes all black people are violent, why does he choose to still hang around black people? Political advantage. See, you can't be too antithetical to them because, you know, the word racist sticks at that point. So you need the ones that you know for a fact you can control that are very empathetic to the whole anti-white racism thing, to the point to where they're willing to be a damn rug. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anti-white racism doesn't exist. Don't get it twisted. I know it does exist. But let's get one thing straight here. If you think I'm going to be a rug to your little political endeavors, that's a great way for me to put a bullet in your fucking back. Just saying, that's a warning. That's not a threat, that's a warning. Because I'm nobody's fucking stooge here. And I say that to the motherfuckers on the far left, and I definitely say that to the motherfuckers on the far right. And I really want to make that point abundantly clear. Because, again, I get some motherfuckers coming in my comment section of my videos thinking they can win me over to their side. Like, I don't know what the fuck going on. I just never really get it. But going back to Roach King and determining as to why he makes such a contradictory post about Stellar Blade. You know, supporting Stellar Blade when it first came out, didn't play it, but defended it, but is now calling it the main character in the second game, Gooner bait, or catering the pedos because the character looks like a child. Which 3 or 4 of the characters in the first game, oh yeah, also forgot Lily's friend who's in a comatose. Also has the same design too. Yeah, so that's 4 characters. Mother Sphere, Lily's friend, Lily, and Kaya. All got baby faces, and none of you motherfuckers said anything. Which goes to show you that even in the event that you are right, you're horrible at your fucking jobs. Like, if this actually does lead to some form of attraction towards children, right? You guys are horrible at protecting people from that, you know? And I'm not saying this shit was buried in the game where you have to do something, extreme just to be able to see these characters. No, Kaya was quite literally in the main town. Lily, you meet her after teaming up with Adam. And then you get a distress call, which is where it goes to that pod where you fight that one Natiba. And then you free Lily out of the pod. It's not like you got to do anything extreme to see this. I mean, hell, you can watch YouTube videos where all the cutscenes are quite literally readily and available for you, but that takes time. That takes you having to actually understand something. But see, we're in a society where reading something and understanding something is not the priority, because that's not what gives money. That's not what gets views. That's not what gets super chats. Especially for those who are very privy within the history community. Person by the name of Tick History. Hell, the motherfucker actually shows you. That man puts in so much time, effort, in his research of World War II history and so many other stuff. And he gets shit on by YouTube's AI demonetization platform, and thinking of what he is promoting as somehow promoting Nazi thought points. When the blocking of that information is what supports those ideas. Because when you live in a society where people don't want you to read something for you to understand, and their excuse is as well, it's for safety reasons and we have to fight and combat against racism or some shit, whatever little sensibility issue that they want to apply to that book or anything like that to get you to not read it. Excuse me. The question you have to ask yourself is, okay, well, if nobody can't read it, how the hell do we stop it? Just like, why the hell should you take the opinion of a person that never even played the fucking game to begin with? People. Or should I call y'all sheep? I don't want to get y'all offended. But, I mean, that's kind of what I saw. Now, are there some people that actually called out Roach King for his hypocrisy? Yeah, there are some people. There are some people. But the problem here is that there was a lot of biting of the tongue. That was the problem. Because let's be honest, which is kind of funny actually, especially considering the fact that, Roach King was wearing y'all's enemy's flag on his body. Usually they'll get you in a titsy. And people are like, you may want to take that shirt off, man. It's probably getting to your brain. No, he's been like that. Roach King's been like that. Listen to his talking points when it comes to Christianity. He's been a lefty. Like, if you understand any basis on Christianity, Christians and Jews are ahistorically allies. He don't see it that way. He thinks our politicians are bought out by the Jews. But he's not a Christian. But he knows Christian things. Right. Sure. Whatever, pal. Just like how he makes the takes on games that he never played, let alone even read. Don't even know the lore or anything, but yet he wholeheartedly defends it. And then when the second game comes out, he flips the opinion. Why? Why is the question everybody needs to be asking themselves. Is it for money? Does he not believe this shit? He just ultimately just wants people to fight each other as he makes the most out of it himself, out of all the views and subscriptions and blind followers? Or is he just purely a dumbass and someone's just pulling the strings behind him? I don't know. You know, I can sit here and speculate about it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything. But inconsistency like that tells me I wouldn't take a lot of things you say on face value anymore. That's just me. Hey, how's it going, EB? I wouldn't take his advice that seriously, or his opinions that seriously. Matter of fact, and I'm not saying don't watch him. By all means, watch him. You know, I'm actually glad there's a group of people that's in that, you know, that community of his that will actually check his ass when he says something stupid. That's exactly what Mike needs in his fucking community as he's trying to create an echo chamber. Unfortunately, we're outnumbered, and we actually need a lot more people than that. But at least there's a number of people in the Asmongold's, you know, community that would actually keep him in check. But going back on the whole Emerald Apple thing, because I got side railed because of the kitten. I'm not even offended that he's racist. That's not even the most offensive part about him. I'm offended by the idea that he thinks he's owed safety because of per capita. It's like, yeah, you can talk about per capita as much as you fucking want. But the way they frame it, you really need to pay attention to that framing. So because blacks are higher in per capita, therefore, the only people you could ever trust and live next to are white people. That's a weird framing, considering the fact that you do have some white people, and the statistics do show that there are some white people that, you know, can't keep their hands to themselves when it comes to little Susie. But the way they frame it, it's almost like, well, because it's more with these people as opposed to us. You can trust us, even if we are that person that does the thing that you don't believe in and you wouldn't tolerate. Yeah, the kitty's still there. Hey, kitty. It's gonna be okay. Someone's gonna adopt you. I hope. But you know, it just kind of goes to show you. The way they frame that kind of stuff, it just says, well, because they are white, even in the event that they do violate the bodily autonomy of a child, that's perfectly fine. They're white. You know? It's not like those black people that go around doing it, where they create mixed babies, right? Except in their mindset, in terms of their ideology, white on white, that's a plus. You know, especially if you're thinking about it in terms of white nationalism. Why would you convict your own brother that looks like you, despite the fact that he represents the very action that you say other people do based on their skin color? You know, that's why when you go on Twitter, you see all these people posting, and it's very disheartening. This is why people don't band together on the whole Epstein thing, because everyone's got their own little fucking agenda. Which is why I'm very cautious, and you should all be very cautious when a person says, I am here to protect the children. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, in a society where people are so divided, where whites are over here, blacks are over here, Republicans are over here, Democrats are over here, leftists are over here, rightoids are over here, conservatives are over here, liberals are over here, Marxists are over here, socialists are over here, communists are over here, socialist Democrats are over here, national socialists is over here, Islamists is over here. And if you don't agree with us, something's wrong with you. In a growing society where that wedge is getting wider and wider and wider, you have to ask yourself this question. Why are you approaching me in a generalized position when clearly you come from a background where you truly believe that some children are better than others? Some people will look at black children and go, why the hell would you protect that shit? Look at them chimping the fuck out. Knockout games and stuff like that. Who the hell's gonna sacrifice their life for that shit? Some people look at white kids and be like, who the hell is gonna sacrifice themselves for that salty, saltine motherfucker telling a mentally ill person to jump in a lake and they can't even fucking swim? And then walking away and giggling as that person is slowly dying. As, by the way, you was also killing your own fucking people. Why would anyone sacrifice themselves for a child who grew up in an environment of voting for Trump? I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but I distinctively remember a large number of people who were so never Trump to the point that where they started justifying raping children because they voted the wrong way. Interesting. In an environment where you are LGBTQ or minority or whatever little fucking label you want to place on yourself in terms of being a minority. When people see drag queens and all these other type of motherfuckers always got their hands up a child's pants, reading to them in these schools, doing shit they really shouldn't have been doing in the first place, let alone being there in the first place. Because I don't know if you actually realize this, drag queen is kind of like an M-rated mature kind of thing. Don't know how that got into fucking elementary school, but you know, colorful thing, I guess that what makes it E for everybody. You know. But who's gonna sit there and sacrifice themselves for a child that believes they were born in the wrong fucking body? Think about it. And yet at the same time, you hear all these cries about I'm here for everyone. Really? What makes you say that? You clearly show that there are some children that are better than others. Now, some people will say, well, you do the exact same thing too. No. See, irregardless of the fact that that child comes from the background of Republican or Democrat or Islam or Christian or black or white, doesn't really matter to me. I'll save him. Hell, I'll take that bullet. Hell, if I can save a motherfucker that looks like me, I think I could save a lot of other motherfuckers that don't look like me. Irregardless of what the statistics actually fucking say. Why? Because I believe selfless acts like that have the power to change people for the better. Because that would probably be the first time in their life where a person, under no circumstances, is trying to sell them something and fuck them at the same time. They got the whole kit and caboodle. And all they had to do was just jump in the backpack. And they got the safety. Meanwhile, the guy ends up getting himself killed. You know, he probably got himself killed trying to save you. Sacrificing himself. You know, despite the fact that you originate in one of these camps. But that didn't matter to him, you know. But I say this, especially considering all these people like Mike, Collective Shout, and a lot of these organizations that scream protect the children, while also having a very negative, compulsive reaction when finding out that you're a Republican and you voted for Trump. These people would justify raping your fucking children. And they would, and they do. Especially considering the fact he was high-fiving all those people talking about the fucking shirt that I was wearing. This is a shirt, by the way. Don't know how a shirt have any correlation with someone's behaviors, but apparently, you know, you can't do that, but they can. You know, rules for thee, not for me. You can't set up gotcha questions, but I'll set up some gotcha questions. Which, if you look at that fucking video on his channel and Asmongold's live stream, guess what? Those are the same fucking talking points. I wonder who taught him while he was getting screwed from behind. Learning how to regurgitate that mess. Because let's be honest, these motherfuckers don't sit here and think about this shit. They're probably in Discords with other channels with 200,000, 500,000 million subscribers, and they coordinate one another. Because again, look at the platform we're on. Look at X. Nigga, you make money just for motherfuckers engaging with your damn post. And so long as you don't get that community, well then guess what? You get the money. Which is why, like, I don't even engage that much with chibi reviews on X, because at that point, you know, it kind of feeds him money and engagement as well. Not saying he's a grifter or anything. I'm just saying, like, I gave you my 2 cents. He has the gun, thank God. I hope he actually has the, also took some other advice in being able to, I forgot what it's called. It's like some form of insurance where, you know, in the event that you do end up pulling that trigger on some motherfucker, they got you covered. Because don't do that shit like that crazy Ben motherfucker doing with the whole Legos thing. Don't go in representing yourself talking about, oh, I just showed the video and it'll be a closed case. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. In terms of, you know, low tier guy representing himself and somehow winning, I think the reason why he won is because, well, that's just a civil suit. You know, this ain't a lawsuit against a corporation or some shit, you know. You know, people are surprised that he actually won. I'm like, that's just a civil suit. That was a slam dunk with all that shit that he presented. Especially considering the fact that, you know, the girl that he had the baby with, you know, she doing all this online discourse and sharing all his secrets, his mortgages, and all this other fucking shit. Like, oh, that was obviously he was gonna win that shit. So, you know, that's proof to the people that say, oh, you know, the system sides with the female all the time. If low tier God can win custody of his child, despite the fact saying publicly how much he doesn't really mention that child, you can win that shit too. You just don't want to fucking bleed for it. And that's the problem with a lot of motherfuckers in this damn society. You beg, you cry, you plead for shit to change, but you don't want to bleed for it, let alone die for it. Meanwhile, y'all living in lavish lifestyles. Or the money that you're getting is antithetical to what the fuck you've been bitching about this entire time. You know, talking about Japanese IPs and their characters look like children, but your entire fucking channel is predicated off of fighting games where the characters look like children. since you can't tell the difference and shit. They all look the same. But apparently you can tell the difference when it comes to making that money. You know, you want a girlfriend and everything? Go find one. You know, I'm on a dating app like Boo. You know, talking to some lovely ladies. No local hits, unfortunately, but I'm getting a lot of people in Kenya for some reason. And don't get me wrong, there's some fine ladies out there in Kenya, I'm just saying. And then I kind of noticed the location changed from Kenya to Greenville. And I was like, am I really talking to a person or is this a dude? I don't know. But you know, she hit me with that voicemail. She does sound like she actually do come from Kenya. I don't think that was fake it. So here's to hoping that that's a real thing, boys. But if not, oh well. I've already conditioned myself in the idea that if I'm alone, okay, I'm alone. At least I had relationships. At least I had sex. Ain't nobody can take that away from me. You know? But go out there. Put yourself out there. You know, I find like a lot of people that always scream like it's hard to date, which, yeah, I understand. It really is. I ain't downplaying that. But the thing I kind of noticed is that the people that say it's hard to do it, they never show any effort that they ever did it in the first place. They look at other people's experience and say, well, if it happened to him, it definitely happened to me. Say, maybe you're just not trying. Maybe you're going to the wrong area and looking for love in the wrong area. You ever thought about that? Because you constantly going to the club talking about something, there ain't nothing but hoes here. Hate to break it to you. Maybe you're in the wrong area, buddy. You know, you're at the burger shop looking for tacos. I don't know what else to say. It's like you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Hey, buddy. Oh. Somebody come adopt this kitty. He's a nice one. I think it's a she or he. It's one or the other. I don't know. I didn't check. But he's emaciated as hell. Like I didn't feel no fat. All I felt was bone. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. 48 minutes in. What does the watch say? I need to get a new watch band. This damn thing broke. These bands are just ass. Okay, that was from her. 2 miles. Okay. $2.45. Cool. I guess with that, I just go ahead and end it. I'll probably do one more lap around and then head back to the house. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Especially with this whole Stellar Blade discourse. Because let's be honest, the only reason why these people say this shit is because they cannot say it in public. Because if they said it in public, they get their ass beat. Which is why they only keep it online, around those who agree with them. But they don't necessarily have to live next to them. Because I can only imagine what would happen if you walked into a fucking place, like your employment, right? And you know, you got that fine sister sitting at your desk. She could be black. She could be white. She could be Asian. But she looks kind of young, you know. She got that baby face. But you know for a fact your company ain't hiring no damn kid. But for some reason you think because she looks like one, somehow your corporation just said, you know, the hell with labor laws, you know what I'm saying? And your slow ass walks up to that lady and go, ma'am, are you old enough to work here? Excuse me? Yeah. You look a little too young to be working at this establishment. Are you sure you belong here? You sure you don't belong at that high school over there? Because you look like you actually belong at that high school over there. What the fuck think gonna happen? Hey, HR will they'll get called on by HR fast as hell if they actually work there. But you know, a lot of these people self-employed morons. Or security, we call them all of them as fast as hell. So where everything that they fucking try to, you know, cultivate in that little discussion of theirs doesn't like get off the ground. Because that woman have every right to believe, like, okay, that was kind of creepy. It's like, yeah, I got a little baby face and everything, but like, motherfucker, I'm a grown ass adult. Because, you know, I had someone at my old job. You know, I used to work in Flextronics, and I used to work at another warehouse. And I met her at both of them. You know, I met her at my first job when she was 19. A lot of people were like, man, you are young as hell. And she's very short too, very pretty. But a lot of people couldn't get over the idea that, man, you look like my niece or some shit. Like, but you know, I saw her and I was like, oh, she looks cute. You know, I didn't pay too much mind to the whole discussion about it. But then I met her at my other job, and that was when she was like 20, 21 or something like that. And she's like, how old do you think I am? I said, if I really want to be fair, I'll say, considering you're in a warehouse that requires you to be age 18, I say middle 25 maybe. But I'm not going to say anything below 18 because that'd be kind of pretty retarded, because at that point you're just basically saying your warehouse is hiring child labor. And you kind of just sitting there going, oh, at least I got something nice to look at, you know? So that's a lot more about you, the person you're talking about, you know? Like, I think you're like mid-25. She's like, I'm actually 21. But like, you're the first person I ever talked to that kind of looked at me and said, it treated me like a damn adult. I was like, really? I was like, wow. It's kind of funny. Because I'm over here thinking like, so many people are going to try to get in your pants and shit. But it was like, well, it was the opposite. People were talking to her like she was a damn nigger. I was like, no, she's a smart one. She ain't dumb. I think she also has like a little bit of Native American in her as well. So she definitely got that young factor in her. But it kind of goes to show you, like, a lot of people that make this opinion about, you know, grown women looking like children, they never, under no circumstances, stepped outside the house. Never. And I can see why. Look at their lifestyle. You think that motherfucker that's always constantly coming up with video ideas has a life outside of that fucking show? Outside of that fucking chair? No. Why? Look at the type of shit they make. It ain't theirs. It doesn't require any thought. They just turn on the camera and say some goofy ass shit. It's like, yeah, I do the same thing too. But generally, when I come across something that I don't like, I don't sit there and go, well, this needs to be changed for my sensibilities. I just get the fuck out. You know? I don't sit there demanding the burger stand to make tacos and hot dogs when everybody goes there for their fucking burgers. And then every time they cook tacos and hot dogs, they taste like shit. If I want a hot dog, I'll go to the damn grocery store and get me some damn ballparks. Fire up that motherfucking grill and cook them the way I want them. But it seems like a lot of people can't fucking do that. They can't fire up their own grill and make their own ballparks. They want some other motherfucker to make their ballparks, so they can take the ballparks and say they're the ones that cook the damn thing. Because they good at eating them. Or good at playing them. As opposed to making their own fucking fighting game. Or making their own fucking IP. Which, like I said earlier, who do you think I'd put my faith behind? A motherfucker with no IP or a motherfucker that made their own shit? A motherfucker like Mike Hollow or a motherfucker like Mugen Lord? Hey, kitty. You be careful now. It's gonna rain, all right? All right, buddy. Take care. Put my money behind the motherfucker that actually made some shit. Not the motherfucker taking other people's shit and constantly critiquing it. And then wondering why no one listens to him. But hey, you know, that's what it is. But I'm gonna head on back to the house. It's like about to rain too. Clouds are a little dark. This is great. It'd be a nice little cool off. So I'll talk to you guys later. Till then, take care, be safe, and God bless. Whoop. Off.